Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to September the 8th, the market update. I hope everybody can hear me clearly and make sure I am on the sharing the right chart. Yeah, that is good. That is good. If anybody can't hear me, please let me know, or you can put a text in there. So this week, big data coming out. We have CPI data coming out on Wednesday, and we have PPI data coming out on Thursday. Again, two inflationary numbers. What do they mean and what they're going to do? We talked about that in the last couple of weeks. Again, we'll talk about them more as we go forward. CPI, for example, is your consumer price inflation, and is the prices of groceries or anything household uses, is the prices going up? So that's what we're gonna see on Wednesday. Chances of seeing that higher are a lot due to the tariffs that have been put on by Donald Trump in the last little while there. So lots of tariffs have been coming on, and then it's been affecting the market again. A decision was done about a week ago, where the U.S. government, the courts have said those tariffs are illegal, and now it's up to Trump to appeal, or the administration to appeal, which they are, and the decision is coming back in October. But Donald Trump is trying to push that decision as quickly as possible. The big thing is, if the government upholds these tariffs, it's going to be I think we're going to get a market to drop very quickly. And one of the reasons we're going to get the market drop, because they're going to have to pay back all that money that they collected. And the question is, where are they going to get that money from? I think most of the money they got has been spent already. And if they go to the Treasury and start printing more money, I see a market very weak in the U.S. dollar. I see the overall inflation, things getting expensive, and I see a market to the downside. But that will only happen if we get the Fed, the Supreme Court say, hey, those tariffs that Donald Trump put on are illegal. Okay, so we're gonna hear that very soon. I don't think we're gonna wait till October. I think we'll hear that decision very soon, because it affects the market and everything else pretty bad, pretty quick. So what is the market doing? And market is basically anticipating the CPI data and the PPI data this week, and interest rate decisions next week. So next week, on Wednesday, we have our interest rate decision by the Feds, and they're going to weigh in the data that came in last week, which was the jobs data, and the CPI data this week, and and the PPI data, and what's all going to say. Right now, I think there's a quarter point cut on the table, or maybe even a half, according to the jobs number. But it could all change by Wednesday or Thursday. And if that data comes in very weak, both of these data come in weak, we could see a half a point cut. But if that data, which I expect the CPI to pick up, and the PPI came in very strong last time, 0.09 from 0.02 was a forecast, and that was a very strong number. And if that number comes in strong again, and the CPI does come in strong, we're going to have maybe at least probably just a quarter point cut. I think quarter point cut is on the table. I think no matter what, I think we're going to get a quarter point cut. But half depends on what the CPI and the PPI looks like. And what's holding this market up, and that's exactly what's holding. If you look at the market's kind of sitting at all-time highs. And we even had a high touch on Friday on the ES futures. Market went actually higher. So the market's holding sideways right now, just for the PPI and the CPI data. And by Wednesday, I think we're going to get, by Thursday morning, we'll have more clarity whether we're going to get a quarter point cut or a half a point cut, or if there's anything else that happens in the market. So right now, the market is holding up. I don't think you are looking for any market crash anytime soon, unless the Fed, the Supreme Court decision comes down and says, hey, those tariffs were illegal. So I am cautious. I am taking profit on a lot of things that I have except the interest sensitive like Rocket. Rocket is rocketing up there. It's above $20. Housing stocks are rocketing up there because of this interest rate cuts. But if we only get a quarter point cut in interest rates by Thursday, we should be very clearly on what the interest rate's going to be. And I might take further take further profits in the housing stocks because they're expecting at least a half a point cut the way they've been running to the upside, and both Rocket Mortgage as well. So both of these, the housing stocks and the Rocket Mortgage has given us a nice profits. Okay, so we want to maybe possibly hanging on to those units. Okay, so let's see by Thursday morning we'll do that. So far, what is the market gonna do today, and what is the news so far? Looking at the 10-year, looking at the numbers out there, 10-year is holding pretty steady at 4.08. So it hasn't gone really much to the either side. But if it drops down 4%, that's where I'm actually further looking, especially my bond holdings. At 4%, I will decide whether I'm going to hang on to them. And if you have those bonds holdings still with me, and we can decide soon on whether we want to take some profits out of those, or we're going to continue holding if this yield keeps going to the downside. And the yield will keep going to the downside if we see further deterioration in the U.S. economy. And we are seeing it so far. And we are seeing it every month that goes to the downside. So look at the ES futures. We're trading above the 64.54. As long as we stay above 64.54, we could continue this market to the upside. But if we hit below 64.54, I am going to be a lot more cautious, because that's going to worry me about a few things. One, it's breaking below the support, especially if it comes around the 63.75. If it gets below that, then I'm really going to start worrying and maybe further go into cash. But 54 above, you can stay in the market, but be cautious on that. So what is we are doing today? What's the range? So the range I'm seeing is between 64.54 and this range here to the top of this trend line here. So can it go up and down that much? Sure, it can, depending on what maybe Donald Trump speaks today. But I think the market is going to study going sideways. It is a trader's market. We're getting volatility to the upside and the downside. So it's trading in this zone. Okay. So the NASDAQ is pretty much a very similar chart what you just saw on the ES futures. One thing I do like to remind you this week, that these futures are expiring. Okay, they're expiring I believe they're end of the week. I think so. I think they're end of the week, or maybe next week. Is it? I think it's. I haven't seen the date on these. Let me see just quickly. They're expiring very soon. If you look at the futures, they're 19th. Sorry, they're 19th of September. They're next week. So they are expiring. Just keep that in mind. If you are trading these, let's say you got this week's or this quarter's futures, if you're still holding by Friday next day, they will just pay you out. Okay, they will just pay you out whatever it is. But if you want to continue on with the futures for December, so you may want to pick those up, December futures. So remember, next week we're gonna get more volatility in the market as well. As we are getting closer to the expiry of the futures, we're gonna get more volatile. So now we're not only gonna get a volatility this week because of CPI and PPI, we're also gonna get volatility next week because of Fed rate decision, and plus the future is expiring. So next 2 weeks is gonna be pretty good for volatility, especially for those day traders. Okay, so the market could move very, very quickly. So what's happening with the oil market? Oil market has been coming down because they've been talking about the market. It actually dropped below the golden line. Now it's right back above here. This is all because the Middle East has been talking about cutting oil production, and it dropped actually from 65 bucks all the way down to $64 drop, and they're talking about actually further cuts. So this support here now is hanging pretty good right now, 61 bucks. If we can, I don't know if we should be able to push this below 61 if they continue to raise or produce more oil. And same thing with gold here. Gold is still on fire, 4K reach again. This is going to be a 4K very quickly if the Supreme Court rules against Trump. Okay, this is going to be 4K very quickly. I'll tell you why. Okay, just be like when I'm telling you all these things, I'm telling you for a reason, right? They're going to print a lot of money. They're going to print over $300 billion, $400 billion quickly to pay back that all that money they collected from the tariffs. So that's going to be a lot of printing of the money, and this is going to hit 4K very quickly. Okay, but if they do a rule in favor of Donald Trump, I don't think you're going to get a lot of movement in, maybe a slightly drop in gold, but still I think the gold is the ultimate trade right now. If you're sitting in gold, especially when we give it back here above this trend line, you're up a couple of $100 and continue to hold gold. 4K level is coming up. So what about the VIX? VIX has been picking up slightly, then it's kind of calmed down a little bit here. If we start seeing the VIX to the upside, I think a couple of times it started to go. If this starts picking up, we're going to see a market that's going to be very volatile and possibly to the downside. Okay? Just keep a close eye on it because this index moves very quickly. If this moves to the upside, be wary of the market coming down very quickly. Okay? And that's what I'm looking for, to get some sort of a hint before what the Supreme Court is going to rule. What are they going to rule, in favor of Donald Trump or against him? So that is the most important thing that's overhanging us. And if they do rule him against it, I see everything sinking, including the stock market. Okay, very quickly. So the 10-year, what about the yield? I see coming down to 4%. And if it does become below 4%, our bond holdings should make some money, capital gains. And they have been going up for the last 3-4 days since this yield has been going to the downside. Yeah, I love to see this below 4%. We'll make more money on those bonds or bond holdings. So congratulations to everybody holding those bonds. What's the dollar index doing? If this yield gets weak, this is going to get weak. The dollar is going to get weak. So if all you guys are Forex traders, get ready. If they do print money, okay, like I said, the Supreme Court rule is also going to affect the Forex market. Why? Because it's going to make the US dollar weak. And if it's going to make the US dollar weak, what can you buy? You can buy euro, you can buy the pound, you can buy the yen, right? They will, and the Canadian dollar as well. It will get a little bit stronger. So if you're looking at the euro this morning, euro already is getting pumped up above this. Right now, euro is a buy. So if anybody's is a Forex trader, and look, it's closed above there, and the next candle is already popping to the upside. I see $1.20 if the Supreme Court rules against the Donald Trump. See how this decision can affect a lot of things. It not only affects Forex market, stock market, futures, it affects everything. So, and there has been a lot of buying here. And that's another thing that's telling us that the euro could get very strong to the upside. I like the euro trade better than some of the other trades because euro is very liquid. So is other currencies as well. And you're also seeing the pound going to the upside. It's broke the trend line. And if it breaks especially above here, $1.35, $1.36, I'm going to be looking at this at $1.46. Oh, sorry, $1.40. And the Canadian dollar is not going to benefit that much. What the euro is going to benefit, because we are brothers in crime with the U.S., right? If U.S., we are very close to countries each other, and that's how they look at the Canadian dollar. If the U.S. dollar goes down, the Canadian dollar goes along with it, right? So that's how they see it. But our currency will be a little bit stronger with the American dollar. Okay. So that is basically the forex. So what did the put call ratio told us Friday? Which way direction is the market going? And it's telling us that it's gone towards the call side. The market should be going to the upside. Right now, the market is up 70 points on the Nasdaq and 9 points on the ES futures. So this is telling us basically market is it's up, and these calls are working for Friday. They're always right, especially the SPY and the triple Qs. 90% plus, they're always right what direction the market's going to go. So always check them at the end of the day. 15 minutes, you can find them delayed. I don't have the real-time quotes for it, but if you want to check out the 15-minute, those are at the end of the day, and you can do whatever according to this. A lot of the time, they really work. I showed you many guys many times, 90% of the time. So where is Bitcoin going? Bitcoin is hanging at 111K. MSTR bought whole bunch of more Bitcoins at 111K. So that company is really taking a lot of risk in this Bitcoin. And if this thing goes to the upside, they're going to make a ton of money, but they're also going to lose very quickly if it goes to the downside. So Bitcoin MSTR was up $8 on Friday. And look where the Bitcoin is going up. This thing is going down. Why? Because this company has to pay a lot of interest on buying those Bitcoins. So they have a lot of borrowed money that they're accumulating a lot of debt. And this really Bitcoin really needs to pop for this one to go up. So if the Bitcoin pops, and if you believe in that, MSTR will pop as well. Okay. So that is your Bitcoin bad stuff. What's the news going on in the market today? A whole bunch of things. Again, PPI, CPI coming this week. So what's happening in the market? So let's talk about some of the stocks. Oh, sorry. Let's talk about some of the stocks here. This morning, they've been talking about who they're going to hire for the Fed. And they actually had a meeting last night at the White House with some of the, Hassett was there, a whole bunch of people were there. And apparently there was some sort of fight going on between all the insiders. Exactly what was to the point, I will find out a little bit later on what happened there. But there was a lot of fighting going on between the cabinet or the secretaries. Okay, EU is also considering more sanctions against the Russians. Why? That's going to even make oil more cheaper. India is going to buy more oil. India is going to buy a whole bunch of oil as oil in Russia gets cheaper, and that may lead to the lower price as well. That's why I'm saying this CL. If you're looking at it, let me just, CL was going up. I've been looking at it all morning to see where it can see the break to the downside. So let me go to the 1 hour chart here. So this is what I've been looking at it all morning. I've been waiting for this trend line to break to the downside. So I wanted to go short on oil, especially I wanted to go short below this golden line, and this is due to Europeans putting more sanctions on the Russians, and plus there is no deal happening, and the Russians actually attacked more of the safe zones, which were considered in the Kiev. They actually attacked the safe zones, and that is really kind of pushing maybe Donald Trump now. He's even talking about putting more sanctions on the Russians. I don't think Donald Trump is going to do anything, but these guys are doing it. And if they are, I'm looking at the oil price. I'm looking for my benefit. I know the war is cruel. People are getting killed out there. But if you're an investor, you want to make money in the market, you got to listen to this type of news, and you got to take advantage where you can. And one of the main areas to take on when the war is happening is in the commodity sector. Right now, like gold is going up and oil is going to the downside because we're going to get more cheaper oil in the market. Okay, that's one thing. So Alibaba, I don't know if you guys know this company. It's called the X Square Robotics. This is a company in China. They're putting $140 million into it. I don't know if that company trades on the market or not, but let me take a quick look. They're called X Robots. If they are, this company could benefit from the benefit. X Square, no, I don't see it. So I would be an investor in just Alibaba myself. If you have been buying it for the last couple of weeks, it's been doing nicely to the upside. We've been saying back here. We've been saying it back here. It's creating another flag here. I think Alibaba goes higher. Okay, the Chinese economy has been doing very well, and I see further upside on that. They're opening at $140 this morning. I think they're gonna break this $148 to the upside. The Chinese economy. Baidu, I think, is starting to move. This is another Chinese stock you can consider. It hasn't moved anywhere near what Alibaba has, but it is starting to. Oh shit! It is jumping this morning $8, and I've been so all the Chinese stocks have been. I like Baidu. I like Alibaba. I know a lot of people like JD.com too, but I'm not a very big fan of JD.com. Okay, JD, look where it has. It hasn't moved much, so I'm not a big fan of JD.com. I like Baidu. I think you can still buy Alibaba. So both of these stocks have been doing really well. I've been telling you guys for about a month now, over a month since those Chinese numbers came out. Yeah, the Chinese are recovering a lot to the upside. So that is a good thing. Take a look at any other stocks anybody wants to take a look at. Uh, so let's take a look at again some of the stocks that we own already. GIS has been recovering slowly, but it's sitting around the $450 range here. It's a little more up today, 50.62. I do think this stock is very cheap, but I am accumulating. Okay, if you want to wait for this breakout to the upside, that's fine. I already own this stock. I've accumulated more of it. I'm gonna accumulate a little more of it again. I talked about this on the weekend as well. And Uber is expanding it. The Uber it wasn't the news, and it's a little bit up this morning, 91.35. I still have this $100 above target on Uber, and Uber was in the news somewhere. Let me see if I can find where I put it. Uber. They're testing more. Where is it? Uber and Robotaxi. They're actually in China. They were talking about. Sorry, I had that news in front of me here. I don't know what I did with it, but I'll find that later on. I'll bring it up. Uber and Ali, they were doing this stuff in China together. Okay. Okay. What else is here on the board? Looking at Bank of America, seeing they're projecting a half a point cut in interest rates due to the weak numbers that came out on Friday, jobs number. Norwegian cruise, all these cruise lines have done real well. If you own the stocks, these guys are starting to raise more money. Okay, so be a little bit careful. They are hitting the highs, but if you have them, start taking some profits. Why? Because these companies are taking, like I said, they're starting to take they're raising money. Norwegian, let me their NCLH. So this stock is down this morning, 24.9. They're raising debt. They're raising more money. So they're going to be diluting their shares. Okay. So be careful of these cruise lines. If you have them, start taking some profit. Okay. Yeah, Nutrien sell that company. Yeah, I was going to I put that in the chat as well. It's in the news section, NTR. Let's take a look at NTR. This is good for NTR. They're going to raise some cash. That's fine. It's sitting at 56.43 on the New York Stock Exchange. It hasn't opened up yet. But I think this is good news for Nutrien, which is fine. Sophie is I have a $30 target on this one. And I did say to sell some of it. At 26 bucks. It's sitting at same range right now. This can go further. Like I said, I have a target of $30, but I had it from $7. I took some more profit in here last week, and I think if you want to take some profit, that's fine. But again, $30 target on this one. Chewy has earnings coming out Wednesday. I mentioned that earlier. I think we could see a nice little run for 2 days. It's already been actually up 43.26 this morning. So there's your little bit bullish flag, and the bullish flag broke to the upside. Okay, and if you see this price break up to the above here, which 43.85, we could have a target at $48-49, but back here again. The earnings are coming out Wednesday. I think they are gonna beat these numbers. But remember, I don't play for earnings. Okay, I think they will beat these numbers to the upside. Okay, so I think they're going higher. Take a look at if you have it, hang it. If you're thinking you have a good profit, you're thinking about taking some profit out of this, maybe take it out tomorrow. Tomorrow, before the earnings are coming out in the Wednesday morning. Okay, so you can take some profit out by the at the end of the market tomorrow. So I remember back here I sold for a while back Chewy. I don't have Chewy anymore. I used to have Chewy. Okay, APLD. Let's take a look at that. Applied Digitals. It's headed to the down right now. It's I like the stock. I'm waiting for it to turn around, maybe to buy. I used to have it. I sold it. I'm looking to buy again to the upside. I like the stock. I love the I love the technology. Okay. And I like this stock. Honestly, I was hoping it got back to 11.96 here. I would buy some. That's what my target is. As this continues, I would, if you have it, I think this can turn around back to the upside very strong. But I'm a buyer at around $12 if it does come down to this level, or it makes a U shape back to the upside, and that's where I would be buyer. I like APLD. I like the stock. I know it's the technology is new and they're losing money right now, but I like the growth a little bit, and I like their technology. You gotta like something. You gotta be able to say something about this stock and say why you are holding it. You can't have if you don't have a reason for a stock to hold, you should not hold it. Okay, so you need a reason to hold a stock. Always, fight with yourself why you're buying this stock, why you're holding it. Okay, if you don't find any reasons, then you should sell it. Okay, so I definitely like this stock for the long term, and I like it for the technology, and I would love to buy it around $12 if it does come down there. Okay, by interest rate, gold goes up or down. With interest rates, we are getting inflation, so we're gonna see we're gonna see Wednesday and Thursday if gold is gonna continue to go up. If we see inflation numbers go up on CPI and PPI, you will see gold go up. So interest rate's gonna happen next week. So we'll tell you on Thursday morning or Wednesday morning when CPI data comes out. If CPI data is up, you're gonna see the gold price go up. And same thing with the PPI. If the PPI is up, you're gonna see the gold price go up. Okay. And then on next week, we'll know where the interest rates stand, and then we can make a rate decision on interest rates. So do look out for those interest rates for Wednesday and Thursday. So take a look at some of the other stocks, what's going on with them. Let's take, anybody want any other ones, the ones we hold. Pepsi, I'm still holding. It's been coming down a little bit, which is fine. Remember, if somebody took a profit at 158, so it's like $13 from there. I think maybe I'm thinking about adding soon. So a couple of times I've already taken a profit out of Pepsi. So if you guys have a long-term view, is still back to the upside. But again, if you want, I'm looking to buy. If you took some profit here, I am looking to buy it again. Okay, let's see till it turns around back to the upside. I'll wait. I still got some. Okay, home stocks are going higher. Again, we got interest rate decision that's that's coming up next week, and I do expect this stock to touch up here around 149, 150 Same thing with DHI. DHI, huge profits in these two companies from 3 months ago, right? And GRBK was the other one, right? Right. GRBK is up 74.11, pushing to the upside. So again, these stocks are do well, these home stocks. Okay. Where the gold price is going? Gold price is going up 34 bucks right now. Continue to the upside. Anticipation that the inflation is going to be up. If inflation is up, it's already anticipating. The gold is already anticipating that inflation is up. And by the time we get the numbers, right? By the time we get the number on Wednesday, the gold price has already gone up. So you might see the gold price go back down because it's already been going up because we are seeing inflation up. A lot of people would say, okay, hey, listen, a lot of people are going to say Wednesday, listen, you told me if inflation was up, the gold price was going to go up. Well, the gold price is already pricing in that inflation. So it's already pricing in. So by Wednesday, when the inflation number does come out, and if it's not strong enough to the upside, you're going to see gold drop. Okay? So remember that. These are the expectation, anticipating what's going to happen in the market. That's how you make money in the market. You don't make money in the market when the news comes out. Okay? You're anticipating what's happening. Market is anticipating. Gold is anticipating what's going to happen on Wednesday. Our anticipation is the inflation is going to be up. And if the inflation up, the gold is already going up. What happens if the inflation comes to the downside on Wednesday? We're going to see a big drop in gold. Chances are. So you guys understand what I'm talking about? So if that's a risk you take. Okay? So we are anticipating the gold prices will come down if the inflation does come down. But if inflation is high, up, very strong to the upside, gold will go up. Okay. So silver is same thing. Silver hitting new highs, $41. Again, commodities, all the commodities are doing to the upside. Again, okay. So I will bring some more stocks, and you can put more stocks in here. We can talk about more, and I have a whole bunch of other news again in the market. Tesla is one guy came out, one a money manager, he's saying that Tesla could hit $8 trillion market cap, which is what they're expecting in the next 10 years in what they're paying Elon Musk. Elon Musk got a $1 trillion pay package, and the only reason he's going to get that $1 million pay package is if the market cap of Tesla goes to 8 trillion. And I think if you keep printing the US dollar and the US dollar gets weaker and weaker, these market caps are going to go higher and higher, right? Look where the US dollar is sitting, and especially look out for that rate decision by the feds. Okay, what's going to happen? So we'll talk about more stocks and markets, and we'll keep doing that. Also get back to the class on the economic calendar we've been doing last week. We're going to continue with the GDP number today at lunchtime. We're going to do that. We'll talk about a little bit about the algos. We'll talk about a little bit of during the market hours, we'll talk about setups if there's any in the market. If I got any setups, I will post them here. I'm looking at them as well. So I'll let Harvey do his market update, and I'll be right back after him. So thank you very much. We'll see you in about half an hour.
All right, what's up, guys? Good morning, everybody. Hope